Hey friends, welcome to the Thrive Advisor podcast, where we help tax advisory firm owners build practices that are sustainable and profitable. I'm your host, Aaron Siegel. Today, I want you to stop repeating yourself. If you've ever caught yourself explaining estimated tax payments for the 4th time this week, or rewriting the same onboarding email for the 10th time this month, this episode is for you. The goal today is simple. I want you to walk away with a concrete week 1 plan to capture what you repeat, turn it into reusable assets, and plug those assets into your firm so your clients get better outcomes while you get your time back. And here's the thing, you can only sell your time once. Every time you say the same thing live, you dilute your value. Your clients can't absorb a 50-minute info dump on Zoom. People learn by hearing, seeing, or doing. If you want them to follow through, you must give them something they can rewind, skim, and act on. When you record and standardize your guidance, you reduce errors, protect yourself, and unlock leverage. You also start to see the patterns in your calls and your transcripts. Those patterns become frameworks, offers, and eventually income streams that don't rely only on your calendar. Let's turn that into a playbook you can use this week. I use a simple 5-step loop: capture, craft, container, queue, and calibrate. The 5 C's. Run this loop and your repeat problems will disappear. Step 1 is capture. For 7 days, I want you to keep a tiny tally sheet. Nothing fancy, just a Post-it note by your keyboard works. Each time you catch yourself explaining the same concept, put a tick mark by it. Examples in my own world have included how to make estimated tax payments, what to do after your S corporation election is accepted, how to organize bookkeeping so month end takes 30 minutes, how advisory billing works, and how to prepare for a quarterly review. So at the end of the week, we're going to sort the list by volume, and we're going to circle the top 3 repeats. Those are the first 3 assets we're going to build. So while you do this, we're going to record your meetings and get consent in your scheduling confirmation and your meeting opener. But your Zoom or Meet transcripts are a goldmine. You're going to turn on transcription and save it to a single folder. If you don't record your client calls, at least record yourself explaining these concepts once. So 1 take, no polish, we're just capturing the raw material. Step 2 is going to be craft. So the mistake advisors make is writing a 20-page manual that nobody reads. We have to keep this lightweight. For each repeated topic, we're going to create 3 versions that map to the different learning styles. So version 1 is the 1-page written guide. The structure is always the same: what this is, why it matters, when to do it, the steps involved, a checklist, and a final section titled Common Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. That's it. Version 2 is a short video. It's going to be 3 to 5 minutes long. Screen share if it involves a portal or a form. Keep your face in the corner if you like, or just narrate the screen. You're going to use your 1-pager as your outline. So read it once, hit record, get it done. The first take is your best take. Then version 3 is going to be a click-off checklist or a template. Think simple. So a Google Doc with checkboxes, a checklist in your Carbon or your tax dome, or a Keeper task template. If it's something that a client must do, we're going to make the checklist client-friendly. If it's an internal checklist, we're going to include the owner, the due date, and a quality check. The trick here is consistency. So every asset uses the same headings. Every video has the same cover image. Every checklist uses the same naming pattern. Your future self will thank you for this. Now, step 3 is going to be the container. So we're going to put the assets where your clients and your team already live. I'm not asking you to adopt 12 new tools today. I just need you to pick one source of truth. So if you already use an online community or classroom like school, you're going to just create a section called Client Fundamentals. And we're going to add the 3 assets there as a lesson. So the 1-pager, video, checklist. If you prefer the client portal, you're going to add a resources tab in the client-facing portal, and we're going to link the 1-pager and the video there. If your team works out of Carbon or Keeper, we're going to add that checklist version as a template, and we're going to link that back to the 1-pager in the template description. If you're storing documents in something like Google Drive, just create a folder named Client Library. You can use a naming convention as simple as like 01 estimated payments, 02 S Corp basics. You get the drill. But we're going to keep everything in the folders, and we're going to link to those files from your client portal or from your online community. So remember, it's one home, many doorways. So decide this once and write it down. Where are we storing the master? Where do we link to it for clients? How do we update it? That is the operating rule. Next, step 4 is queue. So the assets only save you time if you use them with your clients. You need simple triggers that tell you when to send which asset. Here are 4 queues you could set up in an hour. So queue 1 is canned replies. In your email client, you're going to create canned responses for your top 3 repeat phrases. The email is short, 2 paragraphs. It says, we covered the basics on our call. I'm linking our quick guide and a 4-minute walkthrough so you can follow along at your own pace. Hit reply if you get stuck. That's it. Paste the links and send it. Q2 is your meeting follow-ups. So I want you to create a standard follow-up template for every strategy call. It includes 3 sections: the decisions we made today, the resources to review, and the next steps with dates. You're going to drop the right asset into the resources section for the client. And the great thing here is your client's going to feel supported, and then you don't have to type the same instructions again. Q3 is your onboarding sequence, and this is really important. So during your onboarding, you have to set client expectations. We're going to tell the clients that we use short guides and videos so they can review things as they want. You tell them that we'll often be pointing to a resource first before we get back on the next call. It's not cold, it's professional. Most clients love knowing there's a library they can turn to. And Q4 is your internal macros. So in your practice management system, we're going to tag the work items that commonly trigger a repeat explanation. So when that tag shows up, the template task includes the link to the asset. Your team will send the right resource without asking you which one to send. Now, step 5 is calibrate. So once a month, we're going to spend 30 minutes with our client meeting transcripts and our sent email folder. We just need to ask 2 questions. So first is, which assets did we use the most? And then second is, where did we still rewrite the same instructions by hand? So we want to update the high-use assets with the real questions your clients asked. And then we're going to turn that hand-typed answer into a new asset. So over time, your repeats are going to drop close to 0. And this is where AI helps. You don't have to overcomplicate this. Feed a few transcripts into your preferred AI tools and ask for the common questions it sees and the missteps. You'll pull out those patterns, and then you're going to improve your one-pagers. You can also paste a handful of sent emails and ask for a draft guide that merges the best parts. So always review these things for accuracy, keep your tone, and add any disclaimers you need. But you're not writing things all over again from a blank page. And let me ground this with math. So say you repeat the estimated payments explanation 12 times a quarter. Each time takes 10 minutes. That's 2 hours. If you create a 1-pager and a 4-minute video, you spend the 45 minutes once. Then you send that resource 12 times and maybe answer a couple of follow-up questions for a few minutes each. You just save more than an hour every quarter on one topic. Multiply that by 10 topics and you've bought back a full day per month. That is a clean pathway to either higher income or more margin for deeper work. Now, the reasons behind the playbook map to the 5 points I hear most from advisors. Reason 1, you can only sell your time once. When you document, you turn time into a reusable asset. Your margin improves because delivery becomes faster and more consistent. Reason 2, clients can't digest everything live. People learn by hearing, seeing, or doing. The 1-pager helps scanners. The video helps your listeners and your watchers. And the checklist helps your doers. You cover all 3. Reason 3 is consistency reduces your risk. So when you record and standardize, you don't forget the critical caveat on call number 9. You also have evidence of what you taught and what you recommended. You can add a short disclaimer at the bottom. It says, this is for educational purposes. Your situation may vary, and we will confirm the specifics in writing for your file. Keep your dated versions in your Google Drive client library with a simple version number. That way you can show what was current at the time. And reason 4 is patterns create frameworks. So once you have 10 assets, you're going to notice that half of your advisory calls follow 3 or maybe 4 lanes. You can build a simple framework for each lane. For example, a quarterly planning lane might be money in, money out, taxes, and next moves. That becomes your standard agenda. Your clients will feel the improvement immediately. And reason 5, my favorite here, assets become products. Once your delivery is tight and your library is clean, you can bundle it. The same way you teach one client how to close the month in 30 minutes can become a workshop for 10 clients, or a school course for new advisors, or a talk at your state society. This is how you build a second line of revenue without adding a second job. So let me give you just a concrete starter list. If I had to build only 10 assets to cut the most repetition, I'd pick these. The first, how to make your estimated tax payments with links and timing. Second, S-election basics. So what happens after you file your first 90 days as an S-Corp owner. Number 3, quarterly review prep. So what to send to your client, where to find it, how to label your files. Fourth is how advisory billing works at our firm, what's included, and how to request a new project. Fifth, year-end owner pay checklist. So talk W-2s, distributions, all the limits. The sixth is bookkeeping standards. So what does good look like and what's our month-end checklist? Seventh is how to send documents securely and name them so we can find them. The eighth is a chart of accounts for small service firms with the 5 most common fixes we see. Ninth might be a sales tax quick check for service-based businesses, when sales tax would apply and what to do. And last, number 10, how to use your portal, where things live, how to ask for help. So remember, each asset uses the same headings. So what, why, when, steps, checklist, common mistakes. Each one has a 3 to 5 minute video. Each one has a simple checklist. Next up, let's talk about some objection judo, because you'll hear pushback the first few times you send a link. First objection is going to be, I just want to hear it from you. And the response is, you will. The resource is how we keep things accurate and short. Watch the 4-minute walkthrough, then bring me your questions. That way our call focuses on decisions, not instructions. Second objection, my situation is unique. The response, your situation is unique, and the basics are the same across hundreds of cases we've handled. This guide covers the baseline and will customize the last 10% together. Objection 3, I do not have time to read or watch a video. And the response, this is exactly why I made it 4 minutes. It will save you time and make our call shorter. I can walk you through it live and follow the same steps. Which do you prefer? Just keep them short, friendly, and confident. A quick note on quality and compliance. So I want you to add 3 lines in your process. First is just a simple consent line in your scheduling confirmation that says your meetings will be recorded for quality and note-taking purposes. The second is a standard disclaimer line on each of your assets. We talked about that earlier. And third is a quarterly content review in which you skim your top 5 assets to make sure that your screenshots and your links are still up to date. You'll put a reminder on your calendar at the start of each quarter. On that day, we're going to open the 5 assets with the most sins. We're going to scan through them, update them if we need to, and then bump the version number. 15 minutes, you're done. So let's connect this to your practice systems so nothing sits on a shelf. If you're using Carbon or TaxStone, we're just going to build a template for client resources. Inside of it, we can create tasks named review and update the library, add 1 new asset, assign them to yourself on the first business day of the month, 15 minutes estimated time, and just link it to the client library folder. In your client portal or in Keeper, we just want to create a FAQ or a resources area, and we're going to add those top 10 in here. Train your team if you have one for 5 minutes in your next huddle. So just tell them when you see any of these questions, send the resource first and then ask if a call is needed. That single instruction will cut your back and forth down by at least a third. In your Google Drive, you're going to lock that master folder down with restricted edit access. So your team members can comment, but only 1 or 2 people can edit. This protects your library. It keeps it clean. Now, if you want to try to turn this into a small revenue stream without building a complete course, just try this. Host a monthly live workshop for your clients called Office Hours Live. You bring 1 asset per month. You're going to teach it live in 20 minutes, take questions for 25 or 30 minutes, and then remind people that the guide and the video are in the client portal. Record the workshop, drop that into your online community as a replay, and now you have both a service touch and a library that grows without any extra work. All right, so here is your 30, 60, 90-day plan for this. By day 7, I want you to run that capture step and then circle your top 3 repeats. We're going to record one 5-minute video, write one 1-pager, and then build a straightforward checklist. Put all 3 in your chosen container and create one canned reply that points to them. By day 30, I want you to build a set of 10 assets using the list I gave you or your own top 10. Add them to your portal and to your internal templates. Train your team on the queue step and make sure everyone knows when to send which asset. By day 60, we're going to block 30 minutes to review those client meeting transcripts and your sent emails. So use AI to extract the 3 most frequently repeated follow-up questions. Update the matching assets with those questions. You might even add a short feedback form link to your follow-up email that asks, did this resource help you complete the task? Yes or no? If no, what was missing? And then by day 90, I want you to host your first live workshop using one of your 10 assets. Invite your current clients and a few prospects. Use the same material you already created. We are not reinventing the wheel. We are compounding your leverage. All right, and before we land the plane today, let me speak to a mindset shift. This is not about turning your firm into a content farm. It's about deciding that your best explanations deserve a permanent home. When you choose permanence, 2 things happen. First, clients stop relying on your memory and start relying on your systems. Second is you stop filling your schedule with teaching the basics calls, which will drive you insane, and you can use those calls for analysis, decision-making, and next moves. That's where you create real value. And if you're thinking, boy, I just don't have time to do any of this, start with one asset this week. Just one. The fastest win is a 5-minute screen share that shows you how to make an estimated tax payment and where to find the confirmation number. Record it. Drop the link in your canned replies. The first time you paste that link instead of re-explaining it for the millionth time, you will feel the flywheel start to turn. All right, here's the recap. 5 C's. Capture your repeats for a week. Craft a 1-pager, a short video, and a checklist for the top 3 topics. Put them in a single container that your clients already use. Add the cues so you can send the right resource at the right time. Calibrate once a month using your client meeting transcripts and your sent emails and improve them from there. Keep your disclaimers and versions tidy. Host a simple monthly workshop to compound the value. This is how you stop repeating yourself without losing the personal touch. So if you're ready to build systems with advisors who get it, come join us in the Thrive Advisor Collective on School. The link's in the show notes. And if this sparked a light bulb for you, share this episode with another advisor who keeps rewriting the same email every week and needs a simple way to stop repeating themselves. You've been listening to the Thrive Advisor podcast. Work smarter, serve better, thrive always. We'll see you next time.